My name is Alan Maybrew. I want to talk about bladder cancer. I found out a little over a year ago about a very aggressive, muscular invasive bladder cancer. Previously, I had a heart attack, so the heart attack gave me weak kidneys. So the advice was not to attempt chemotherapy, otherwise I was going to be in dialysis. Throughout the months and almost in the year, all 7 doctors wanted to have a radical removal of the prostate, removal of the bladder, and making a new bladder with part of my intestines. I debated a long time. I visited a lot of patients, and I saw no conclusive, positive results. At the end, everybody was sick. Yes, they were alive, but they were barely alive. I didn't want to go through that. My quality of life was great. After the heart attack, weak kidneys were not stopping for me to do my chores. So I decided to take the bull by the horns and follow every single recommendation that was possible, but staying away from the radical. I did immunotherapy. It was helpful. It gave me strength. I learned about nutrition. I did all kinds of diets. My wife is a nutritionist for over 35 years. She didn't want to believe that I was going to go through that. I did fasting, few days, 7 days, no food, just water. It was doing great to me. I lost 65 pounds. I felt energetic. My blood pressure was in really good shape. And every week I went through lab work. Lab work was showing constant progress. But the bleeding was constant. Clogs on my urine was hurting. Several times I had to go to the emergency room just to get a Foley irrigation. And that was very painful. Had 4 or 5 turb, that is the cleaning of the bladder. And starting all over, cysto, constant. Bleeding was part of my life. At the end, I decided not to do any more Foleys because instead of not drinking water, I will drink a lot of water, I will bleed a lot, and I will pass the clogs no matter what. In the shower, I will cough, I will push, I will moan, I will do whatever, but I will unplug the restriction. Blood, I was losing a lot of blood. One of my doctors in Boca Regional advised me for chemo. He's saying that it's not going to work, but at least it's going to shrink the tumor, and it's going to alleviate the kidney, the left kidney. he started telling me that the left kidney anyway was not functioning properly and maybe will be removed. But by starting chemo, I was going to get better. A port got installed in my chest. I had a lot of things to do and to prepare for new products. So I decided to wait. I continued my life. Every time I was bleeding, I was just taking painkillers and doing my exercise, but I didn't stop living. I visited several bladder cancer patients that we met during doctor's visit. So when you have to go to the doctor, you spend most of your days waiting. So I met a lot of people and I visited them and I follow that they were not doing any better than me, radical or not radical, T1, T2, T3, T4. The only ones that I see that they had a positive attitude were the one with T4, because doctors gave up on them and they were doing a better job than the rest. Immunotherapy was kind of working. Fasting was definitely working for a lot of them. Some T4 really had a determination and the willingness to be able to stay without eating for more than a month. Some of them without even water, weeks. But cancer was gone. They all had cancer all over the place, not just in the bladder. Prostate, bones, lungs. And they came out okay. Cancer will go after everyone. Engineers, teachers, bankers, economists, smokers, non-smokers, alcohol, no alcohol. It goes. You always have an excuse. If you smoked, okay, that's the excuse. If you didn't smoke, okay, so something else. If your family, DNA. You didn't drink? Cancer, it's cancer. I learned throughout this ordeal that food, junk, sugars, sodas are our worst enemies. I stay away from anything that produces sugar to stop my cancer. I didn't want to kill my cancer. I just wanted to buy some time. Then doing good, but I found out that we could freeze the tumor through my rectum and direct chemotherapy through needles directly to the tumor. Of course, it's not accepted by the medical field, but it's been successful. So I visited several patients. The doctors gave me the name and references. And I was very surprised that T4s, terminals. We're doing good. The problem is that it's still a clinical trial. Nobody wants to pay for it because it's not convenient for the American Cancer Association. It's, bladder cancer brings $600 to $1 million from every patient to the doctors. So why make it easy? My insurance, I was not even 65, so my insurance, Florida Blue, was covering most of it. My heart attack was about $60-something thousand. I paid about 17 out of that. Then I had more bills. And immunotherapy was not going to get covered by the insurance company, so, I spent another 50,000. So, who cares? It's just a life. But if I will do a radical, everything was going to be taken care. Then I continue with Florida Blue and turned 65, and I have Mutual Omaha and Medicare and Part B, Part E, whatever it is. They take care of a lot of expenses, but they just want you to do whatever they feel that is convenient for you. That is not good, but that's what they want. So I found that doctor that is being very successful, but he charges a fortune to do the target therapy. That is through the rectum, using some very fancy monitors and CT scans and ultrasounds and all that kind of thing. He will go through the rectum and he will freeze the tumor. And he will do chemotherapy. Then he will make you some recommendations of antibiotics for several days, and they will do an immunotherapy that is some kind of a bacteria that you inject every day to accelerate your production of white cells. This way you can fight it. The result is very positive. No more bleeding. The CT scan or the PET scan is showing that I'm doing good. The lab works. Amazing. So I'm very disappointed that I went through all that over a year. A nightmare. I follow every single person, and they are worse now than they were before. My only advantage is that I had the money to be able to pay for my cure. That's all. Yesterday, I was at the Trump Doral for a wedding, and I had the chance to dance all night long with my daughter and my wife. And I wanted to do this video because bladder cancer patients deserve better than what they are giving us. I'm not going to give the name of the doctor. It's for you to find out. But I'm the proof. My name is Alan Maybrew. You have my YouTube information. Anything that you want, you can PM me, you can message me. I will do the information. I'm not going to give the name of the doctor. I'm not in the business to do that. If you want information about my business. The only thing you have to do is Google my name. I've been in business for 40 years, married for 40 years. I have 2 kids, daughter and a son, 6 grandchildren, and I want to see them grow up. Good luck. Thank you for listening.